Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Taffel, and today we are doing another episode of UF DPM's Meet the Student sessions. Today we have our guest, Matthew Borden. If you can start by introducing yourself.
I'm Matt Borden. I am a fourth year DPM student, been here 4.5 years now. I graduate this semester, so I'll be heading out shortly, but I am originally from Virginia. I grew up in South Africa for most of my years, and Zimbabwe before that. And I attended Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia for undergrad. I was there for biology, horticulture, and entomology. So that can be a pretty good rounding of everything that I came here to do in DPM.
So can you share some of your favorite aspects of the DPM program?
So I really joined DPM in order to gain that really awesome broad exposure to many different aspects of plant health. And I've been very happy with that. I feel like it has served me well as far as what I want to do in my career. And I really liked that balance of heavy coursework in a lot of different areas that was really well complemented by all of the field trips, hands-on training, a lot of opportunities for outside learning, and then experience in the diagnostic labs and actually getting to work with Lyle Buss and Carrie Harmon and a lot of our other people with excellent diagnostic skills. So for me, that's been a highlight, and I'm glad that is our strong suit in the program.
So speaking of doing a lot of different things, are you involved in any extracurriculars?
I have been involved with DPMSO pretty heavily. I was our treasurer for 2 years and then president for a year and historian after that. Outside of the program, me and a friend from the plant pathology department started a TEAS club, Tea Appreciation and Education Society. So I was working with the tea research group here. We've been investigating tea as an alternative crop for Florida. And then we also started a group so that we could have some fun and just drink tea as well as read research papers and talk about it. So that was fun. And then online, most of my what I would call extracurricular activity has been sort of a hybrid of outreach and learning that I do online. So I'm pretty heavily involved with a lot of online forums, Facebook groups. I've managed a group called What's Wrong with My Plant for about 5 years now, and another organic group that does the same thing. And then I've been heavily involved with groups like the Garden Professors, and I also help manage the National Extension Master Gardener page on Facebook. And a lot of UFIPS people are involved in that now, including some other DPM alum. So I write posts for them, and we try to identify problems that gardeners and master gardeners struggle with, and then make posts that are relevant to them that will help them either identify problems or address them better, or just general fun educational things, because there's a lot of bad information out there. So we try to curate and produce better quality, good information.
That all sounds like a lot of fun. In the program, have you participated in an internship or research?
Yeah, absolutely. So even though DPM isn't really advertised as a research-based degree, in reality, most of the students end up doing research while here. A lot of times that is as part of our job. If we get assistantships working in a lab, we end up doing research projects. Many of us are also dual enrolled in master's programs, which can be thesis or non-thesis. But if you're doing a non-thesis based doctorate, then it's nice to do a thesis-based master's to complement that. So I did both. I've been working here in the turf and ornamental entomology lab with Dr. Adam Dale for my entire time here. And I did one project outside of a thesis, working with reduced risk insecticides and a invasive pest called chili thrips. And then I did start a master's program after that and did 2 more research projects working with lawns and figuring out how we can reduce some of the destruction to the environment on a landscape is developed, and figuring out how we could maybe do some things like composting or tillage to help those landscapes recover and bring back some biodiversity. And then I also worked on tea as a crop here in Florida and its key pest on armored scale called T-scale. and I did a whole project with that, looking at this really interesting little pest and another native plant called yopon, which is also caffeinated, really interesting. So I've done a lot of projects, but they all kind of fell within this realm of identifying ways to help manage our landscapes more sustainably. And then I've also done my 2 internships already. All DPM students, we do our 2 substantial internships. So I did one last year working for Bartlett, which is a leading arboriculture company. And their strongest suit is that they have a really awesome research facility and a team of PhDs and diagnosticians that helps complement the arborists out in the field. So they try to follow really good science-based practices. So I went to work for their diagnostic lab in Charlotte last year, and it was awesome. It was a great opportunity to put into practice everything that I've learned in my own career so far. So it was just hands-on diagnostics all day, and every day we would get dozens and dozens of packages in the mail, and then you tear them open. So if you like getting mail, it's fun, and you diagnose them. And then once you figure out what it is, you write up a report and mail it back to the arborist or the consultants, whoever sent that sample in, and you advise them on what the problem is, what they should do about it, severity, and then, sometimes it's maybe an invasive problem that needs to be addressed further, or sometimes it's not a pest or disease at all and it's abiotic, and then you have to send it off for foliage analysis or something like that. So that was a great experience, and I enjoyed working for that company. And then this past summer, I worked for Driscoll's Incorporated out in Watsonville, California. And Driscoll's is the world's largest producer of fresh berries. So they produce strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. I was primarily working with strawberry pests. So I did 3 independent research projects for them, looking at 2-spot spider mite, spotted wing Drosophila, and a few different possible alternative ways that we can manage those pests in strawberry. I was looking at some biocontrol options, and then also some silica nutrient-based options. So that was a great chance to see what entomology research is like more from an industry perspective, where they have specific problems in the field and they're really trying to find some solutions to it.
That's really interesting. So what is your career goal, and how do you think the DPM program has helped you to prepare for this?
Yeah, so I really just like healthy plants, and I want to be able to figure out ways to keep them healthy, and then figure out ways to better help people learn how to do the same thing. So the DPM program has really been foundational for me in exposing me to a lot of different things that I may not have considered beforehand. So, you cannot be an expert in everything, but the DPM program gives you a great foundation so that you have the confidence and the background you need to be able to jump into any new crop or area of research and very rapidly adjust. And I like that adaptability aspect. It's a really valuable skill in academia, and then especially once you're out in the job field, because it's very rare that you find a job doing exactly what you've been doing in grad school. So if you like having a broad skill set and adaptability and being able to jump into any new situation, or if you want to jump from one situation to another, or you have a job that demands that of you, then it's great. And I would recommend this program a lot.
And to finish up, do you have any advice for new DPM students on how to make the most of their experience?
Yes, I've got a few tips. The first would just be to start growing plants. Even if you think that you have a so-called brown thumb, growing a plant is really the only way that you can get to know it. And you cannot really tell if a plant or crop is not healthy until you see what it's like when it is healthy. And that may sound intuitive, but it's once you start growing anything, you start observing it, how it changes, how it responds to what you're doing to it. So that's really the key point. No matter what you're studying, whether it's a field crop or ornamentals or turf in my case, sometimes just start growing plants and experiment with them and observe them, find out why they're not looking healthy, and then treat it. Just practice. It's just practice. Second piece of advice would be to don't be shy and get involved with teaching and training opportunities as they come up right away. You don't have to be an expert in everything you teach, but go out to events, talk with people, and ask them questions. Find out what sort of things that they are having problems with. If you're talking to a gardener, ask them what they're growing, what pests they're observing. If they are, really troubled by stink bugs, ask what they're doing about it. So once you start talking with your target audiences, you'll quickly grasp what your priorities may be if you want to make a difference in those areas. And that in turn may help you in your writing. If you're producing fact sheets or featured creatures, you want to make an impact and you want to address problems that exist. So go out, talk with gardeners, landscapers, growers, nurserymen, and just find out what's going on out there, because there's different problems in different aspects of the green industry, and you want to be effective in your career.
Well, thank you very much, Matthew. I appreciate you zooming in today to share all this information. And that's all we have for today. So thanks for taking the time to watch another episode, and stay tuned for more.